It was really nice back in 54, 55. Everybody knew each other. It was a nice town.
In 1968, 7 businessmen in the downtown Mason corridor got together to form the Mason Area Chamber of Commerce, with a little help from their neighbors down the road.
My neighbor said, "Pat, why don't you start a chamber?" I said, "What's a chamber?" So I investigated, and then I went over to Lebanon, and I got Jim Obrick and Larry Christenberry, who was the president. So we brought them over behind people's building alone. We had a meeting, and they showed slides, and that's how we formed it right there.
They were a big help in getting us started because they had their chamber already organized, and we didn't really know what a chamber was or did or how to do things. And as a result, we decided that we'd go ahead, and we got Dave Batchy to help us get it organized in terms of what had to be set up as far as the regulations and all that. And we got it going, and first thing was the Christmas lights, and that was a big ordeal to do.
We had a downtown business, and that's where everybody went through town, was what we call now the old downtown. And we, at the holidays, we wanted to dress it up, and we wanted to put up Christmas lights, which we eventually did, and it was pretty much the board of the chamber, right, Don, that was doing that. Bill Youngblood from the lumber yard would get us trucks, front loaders, and I'd be in the front of a front loader and up hanging big, large ornaments.
However, the Mason Area Chamber of Commerce didn't just shine bright during the holidays.
One of the things that I remember that we really did, which was a lot of fun more than anything else, was since the sesquicentennial back in 1965 was over with, which was a fun event for this whole town, there was a lull in there, and the chamber sort of helped to form what then was known as Community Unity Days, which eventually went into Heritage Days. And that was in 1968, and that was the first time that got started after sesquicentennial, about 3 years later, and it's been going ever since. And I think that's one good credit that the chamber got going in a small way, and the whole town grabbed onto it, and we had a lot of fun with that.
But the Heritage Days was, when I named the Heritage Days, it was to create where your forefathers came from. Me being Italian, every year I would dress up in a parade. One year I robbed Fifth Third Bank, Bugs Moran. Another year Wild Bill Cody. Another year I was in the Civil War. So each year we would do something different. And it was a lot of fun.
When they weren't organizing the Heritage Parade or decorating the town for the holidays, members of the Mason Area Chamber of Commerce were tackling big issues affecting businesses as well as citizens.
We pretty much couldn't call any place without a toll call. We could call Lebanon because they were on the same system, but that was it. If you want to talk to Dayton, Cincinnati, you had to pay a toll. And so one of the major projects that the chamber had undertaken was to work with Cincinnati and Bell and get toll-free service back and forth. That was a lot of meetings. I think Jack Flaherty was involved in that one, and maybe Bill Federley, or a couple names I remember that worked on that. But that was a couple-year-long project, and very important to Mason at that time. You know, phones have changed just a little bit since then, but that was what existed at that point in time.
Phones aren't the only changes they've seen in the past 50 years. The chamber itself has gone through many transformations and seen tremendous growth.
50 years ago, I could not have imagined how many members the chamber has. You know, we would talk about 20 members or 30 members, and now there are how
Almost
many?
600.
Almost 600 members. To have the gala events out at the Manor House with the class that they're doing was just way beyond anything, at least that I could anticipate or foresee.
You just didn't know what the chamber was, how it was going to evolve in years to come. And then as we saw Mason grow, and especially after Kings Island came in, that really started to pump things up around the area. And it brought people, it brought other businesses, it brought other ventures that came into Mason. And that just increased everything that happened around here.
Future's bright, in my opinion.
I'm Pat DiAngelo.
I'm Don Williams.
I'm Dick Yost.
We made the chamber what it is today.